Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Tamara Thorpe, widely known as the Millennials Mentor. She's the founder of TNT Development, a leadership consultancy that equips emerging leaders with the mindset, skill set, and cultural intelligence needed to build inclusive, values-driven organizations. Tamara's worked with everyone from startup founders to global corporations and has spent over 2 decades helping people become more effective, ethical, and empathetic leaders. Tamara, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take us back to before you started TNT development. What were you doing at the time? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
So I started my career working in international education, and that came out of a love for learning languages and learning about cultures. I was really fortunate when I was 16 to have my first experience leaving the United States, and that became this driving force that really is something that fortunately has followed me throughout my career, that ability to live and work in different cultures and communities. And so that learning became a really key impetus. So my first career was in international education. That started with having the opportunity to teach English as a foreign language in Seoul, South Korea, and then returning back to the United States and teaching English as a foreign and second language for university level students and professionals. And as part of that, culture was a huge part, right? Culture is a huge part of learning language. It's one thing to learn grammar and the words, but the context in which we use that language, it was really key. And
Mm,
for my students who were in the US, they had so many questions about why do people in the United States do these things and say these things? And so it was really those experiences and that work that gave me opportunities to lead, and it was in those leadership roles of leading and working with teams and people that sort of began this evolution of my career that led me into leadership development.
okay, very cool. So you always had the passion and interest for different cultures, learning different languages, and then it evolved to leadership, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it was unexpected. I think early in my career, I just was had this vision that I would sit on beaches around the world and learn languages and learn about culture and have a good time. But as I began working within organizations and having opportunities to lead teams, lead projects, that was something that really aligned with my vision for how to make our language and culture programs more impactful, and seeing where there are opportunities for new people coming into organizations to have the opportunity to develop their talent and for them to move into leadership. So, all along in my career were these opportunities, not only for me to lead, but for me to facilitate opportunities for other people to lead. So
Yeah.
that when I did my master's degree, for years I was uncertain what to get my degree in. And then leadership just became really evident. And then once I did my degree in leadership and training and began to think about the business model I wanted to have as a leadership expert, I really wanted to build something that was supporting people in their own leadership development and growth. And I was really fortunate to have the career that I did working with high school students, college, university age students, that then those relationships carried into their adulthood. And I found that there was a huge demand for young professionals to be better and more effective leaders. And that really became the impetus for my branding as the Millennials Mentor.
Yeah, I like that. Let's dive into TNT development today, what that looks like to give the listeners more context. Who would you say is your ideal customer? And then from there, what are the core offerings that you provide?
So, my ideal customer is an organizational leader or an organization that really is committed to learning and growth. I've been really fortunate to work with companies across industry. And so today, most of my clients are mid to large size organizations from luxury retail to pharma to communications and PR. It's not industry specific. What's always been critical for me and TNT development is that we have clients who are committed. So for clients who are looking to bring in a consultant to check off a box, I'm not that consultant. I'm really somebody who's looking to work long term and work with an organization, really being deeply embedded within their organization, understanding who they are, who their people are, and where they need the support they need to grow and develop their talent.
Got it. What are the different offers and services that you provide? What does that look like?
So, my services today come in three forms: consulting, coaching, and training. And all of those services are bespoke services. So, I work with clients on developing consulting projects that are based upon their needs that can vary from a cultural assessment to assessment of programs and processes. We build bespoke leadership development programs that range from their top level C suite to large scale organizational rollout programs, as well as bespoke coaching programs for one to one or group coaching.
Okay, got it. So it sounds like it's a custom element where depending on the organization that you're working with, whatever they need at the time, you'll tailor it for that specifically. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, our work focuses on talent development, leadership development, programs that support inclusion, programs that support mentoring. That's our area of expertise. And I have lots of off the shelf programming for organizations who are looking for that. But I think when I've looked at what are the challenges in the market today, for consultants like myself, I think it has always been a challenge in our industry for organizations to prioritize, both in terms of time and investment, talent development and leadership development. These are extras, right? Organizations focus on things that are really concrete and tangible, and often talent development, leadership development don't. The results take time, and evaluating and measuring those results take time. A challenge we face is organizations prioritizing. And then today, where organizations are facing the unique challenges of current administration removing and pushing back on equity and inclusion policies, it's a really tense and difficult environment. Tariffs are also impacting clients' investment in these type of services. And so my growth that the organization's had in the last 2 years has really been rooted in our ability to adjust and adapt to what's happening in the sort of political climate, as well as meeting clients where they are with the needs they continue to have with fewer resources.
For sure. One thing that I've been hearing a lot is that marketing and lead generation has been a challenge. And I also see that with a lot of consultants nowadays. So I'm curious for you, when it comes to acquiring more customers and bringing in more qualified leads, what does that process currently look like?
So for me, I think for TNT development, my brand, it's been a journey, lead generation typically. And when we think about it in traditional sense from the things we do with our online presence, I think for me, that's always been a little give and take. There are times where you put a lot of energy into having an online presence and you get very few rewards. And then there are times where you might put some energy in and have some great rewards. So I have always tried to find the balance between what I think I know about marketing in the 21st century and ensuring that I'm developing thought leadership and then finding different ways to make that accessible through my online presence and social media platforms. My parents were entrepreneurs, and something that I learned from them that I carry with me is I don't think there's anything more effective than relationships and collaborations. And so that continues to be a significant part of how I market and grow my business. In addition to doing good work, there is no better lead generation than making sure your clients are happy and have what they want, and making sure that your clients continue to generate leads for you.
For sure. You bring up a point that I touch upon often. It was interesting because I was talking to a gentleman last week about this, and he said that a lot of his leads come from networking, they come from referrals, they come from relationships, but he expressed frustrations because those can be very unpredictable and inconsistent forms of lead generation. So I guess for you, what has your experience been, and what plans do you have to navigate that?
I find all lead generation inconsistent, which I think is one of the challenges of being an entrepreneur, is that there's no one way to generate leads and invest your time and money into a single marketing strategy. It has to be a multifaceted approach. That's been my experience for sure. And so for me, it's the balance of ensuring that I have a website that looks good, that does good things, that tells people what I do in a clear way, that's competitive with the market, and not my online presence and the tools that I use to generate leads through sharing thought leadership, live streaming, podcasting, all those things, while also at the same time ensuring that I'm developing relationships, identifying collaborations that are fruitful, while also at the same time doing the work that I'm trying to get leads for. It's a constant balance and struggle. So for me, I think what I've learned in the years is to give a proportionate amount of energy to each of the ways in which I generate leads without falling into kind of a single sort of way to do it, because there are times where I might have invested a lot of time and energy into a single form of lead generation and I didn't get the results that I wanted. So I find that a multi-prong approach best serves my needs. And my goal always is to make sure that I'm identifying people to collaborate and looking for those opportunities to collaborate, that I'm attending regular networking events in person in my community, virtually, and then nationally and globally, while also keeping things online, moving and progressing forward, which is no easy task and takes a village, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, especially when you're wearing all the hats. It can be daunting in a sense. When you think of your vision and where you want to take the company, let's say over the next 6 to 12 months, what specific revenue targets, performance targets, goals in general are you aiming towards?
So right now we're looking at maintenance. And part of that is because we've had tremendous growth in the last 2 to 3 years. Our industry saw tremendous growth 6 years ago, and that boom that we had in 2020 and 2025 really shifted diversity, equity, inclusion, and inclusion work and the kind of consulting that I do. And we had a downturn, and really, the last 3 years, we've seen a resurgence and some growth. And what I would like to do is, which I think is an interesting balance, because part of maintenance still requires generating new business. And for me, the goal is to generate new business, but still within our current capacity, because we have had to scale the last 2 years. So having a moment to breathe and identify ways in which we can bring in some new clients, but maintain where we are before, in order to gear up and figure out where we want our next vision for growth to be.
Got it. So it sounds like it's still building more predictability when it comes to the lead gen, but not going too fast where it becomes overwhelming.
Correct.
Got it. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge you're facing right now to making that happen?
Like I said, I think the biggest challenge that we are seeing is clients losing their budgets and having budget cuts.
Mm,
That's one of the things that I've seen as a struggle, is getting clients on the phone, because clients are concerned about not having the budget that they need. That's what I'm seeing in the market, as well as clients. There's a lot of uncertainty for organizations of existing internal programs that they've had, and will they be maintained and supported, just because there is a lot of economic uncertainty right now.
yeah, you're echoing the same sentiments as a lot of people that I've been having on. If you were talking to new entrepreneurs and you could give them a piece of advice that maybe you wish you knew when you were first starting off. So something you know now, but you didn't know it back when you were first getting into entrepreneurship. What would that be?
I think I was really fortunate. My parents are entrepreneurs, and so I was really prepared for a lot of the sort of ups and downs that come with it. But I think particularly in the last 10, 15 years, something I share with young entrepreneurs is not to compare yourself to success that you see online. It can
Hmm.
be very intimidating to see the growth of a startup online or to see the growth of an entrepreneur, and that visibility that folks have online can be either deceptive of what of their actual success, and also it doesn't tell the full story. You don't see the years of struggle, right? The years of struggle we don't often share, and so it can be very easy to get online and be very intimidated and feel like the time you're investing and the struggles you're having are unique to you and that they're not part of the process, but they're absolutely part of the process. You starting a business doesn't mean you make money or have clients. There's so much work and time that has to go into it. So to be able to give yourself some grace, know that it takes time. And I always tell young entrepreneurs, you don't have to be the only one selling a hamburger. Lots of people sell hamburgers. You just have to have a really good hamburger that people want to have. And when we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, I think that can really stunt people's growth and development and keep people from taking the risks and putting in the effort and time that it really does require to have a successful business.
I could not agree more. Yeah, I love that so much. If for the people that are interested in working with you, what is the best way for them to reach out?
The best way for folks to reach me is to send me an email at tamarathorpe.com. I always encourage people to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm a huge proponent for professional platforms like LinkedIn. So they can shoot me a DM on LinkedIn, follow me on LinkedIn, or just contact me directly.
Awesome. Awesome. Any final words you want to leave us off with?
I want to thank you for the time to share. It's always interesting for me to do the work that I do while also wearing the hat of an entrepreneur and sharing my own journey and growth, and then to be able to share it in hopes that it helps someone else. So thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
So that wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to email Tamara at tamarathorpe.com. That's TAMARATHORPE.com. And obviously, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to scale your business and really enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.